guys, it's Jamie from Not Just a Wimpy Teacher, and I wanted to pop in here and talk a little bit about using Zoom with your class right now during school closures. So I know that some teachers are going to say, oh, my school won't let me use Zoom, and if that's the case, if your school won't let you use Zoom, then definitely listen. But for those of you who are able to, it is an amazing tool that I have used for quite some time, and I thought I would show it to you because Zoom, it's a video conferencing software, and it allows you to have a video call with one student or even your entire class. You can schedule a time each day and invite your class to join you. During this time, you can have things like morning meeting or just getting talking to your students and figuring out how they're doing, or you can straight up do your lessons on Zoom. And students who show up at that time can watch live and ask questions. And then even if they can't show up live, then you can record it and upload the recordings to Google Classroom or email them out or put them somewhere where your students can access them. So there are lots of cool things you can do with Zoom. You can even just if you know you have one student who might be having a tricky time, you can schedule a time to have a Zoom chat with them, and you're not having to give them your phone number, and you're able to see each other's faces. And I think now more than ever, people need to see each other's faces. We are all stuck at home and we're distancing ourselves, but we still have a need for human contact, and our students do too. So let me show you how to get a meeting set up and show you some of the things that you can do inside of Zoom and some of the settings that you might choose. Just so you know, you can sign up for a free Zoom account, and just the normal Zoom account will limit the length of your meetings, but Zoom is offering a special where teachers can get a free account with longer meetings and no limits. So I've got a link for you for that. Use that link. But let me show you how it works. I'm going to share my screen with you, and I'm going to kind of walk you through how to set up the meeting once you've signed up for Zoom. All right. So you should see my screen now. I am on the Zoom website, and I've already signed up and gotten an account. So you'll want to start there by signing up and getting your account. After you do that, come over to the top, if you see where my cursor is, to the top right-hand corner and click on My Account. So this is my account here. And once you get to My Account, after you go to My Account, click Schedule a Meeting. You do have to push My Account first and then schedule a meeting. I tried it the other way, didn't work. So go to My Account, then click on Schedule a Meeting. And this is the screen you're gonna get. So here for topic, go ahead and name it something that you can use over and over again. So you don't have to schedule a new meeting every day. You're going to use the same meeting reoccurring. So don't schedule it like Mrs. Sears Tuesday lesson. Instead, you might just use your name, Mrs. Sears, 3rd grade. And now it'll always be called that no matter when your meetings are. You can add a description if you want to. You don't need to. Now decide when you want your meetings to be, when you're going to start them, and what time you want them to be at. Probably not. Let's see. Let's say I was going to have my meetings at 2 p.m. You can set a time. Right now it says I only have a 40-minute time limit and only 3 participants, but that's because it does take some time for it to check and confirm that you are a school. Once it does that, you'll have unlimited, okay? Make sure you choose the correct time zone for your kiddos, or else that will be very confusing to them. And then check this button here for reoccurring meetings. So I have it set up that it's gonna go every day, and it's gonna repeat every day. You can have an end date. We don't really know when the end date's gonna be, but maybe you can, you can make it late in April just to, so you don't have to go in here and change it too often. So this is how you basically decide when your meetings are going to be. And then down here, I personally would probably take away the required password. And this is totally up to you. Do what feels good to you. You can click this box and this would be your password, and you'd have to share this with students and families, and they would need to input this every time they come to your meeting. You certainly can do that. And if that feels safer and better to you, then go for it. I'm a little worried my students are going to lose that password, not be able to log in, so I don't require a password. Please note that they would need the actual link to my Zoom meeting in order to get into the meeting. So it's not like anyone can join my meeting. They would need the link, and there have been stories about hackers hacking into Zoom, but they would have to figure out your link and hack in at the exact time of your meeting in order to actually get in. So it's up to you. If you feel like that's a huge risk, then require the password and share it in your Google Classroom or via email with your families, or you can unclick this and then they won't need a password, but they will need the link. Okay, down here for video, I go ahead and turn the host video on and the participants video on. I do these calls because I want them to be able to see me. They can turn off their own video if they need to, so that's an option, but I go ahead and turn them on. As far as audio, leave it on both. Meeting options, a couple of things you can do. We don't want them to join before the host. I mean, that's like letting them into your classroom before you're there. We don't want to do that. But I do think you should do this one, which mutes participants upon entry. That way when they enter the video call, let's say they enter 10 minutes late and you're in the middle of teaching a lesson. You don't want them to immediately be able to start chatting. You can enable a waiting room. That way, if like your meeting is scheduled to be at noon and someone logs in at 11:50, it'll open up a window letting them know that they're waiting until the meeting starts. I would also suggest clicking on record the meeting automatically on your computer. That way, if you have students who could not show up, it will automatically record this video and you could upload the video to your Google Classroom or email it or put it on a private YouTube channel or however else you might share videos with your students. At this point, you just push save. Check and make sure that you've picked the time and you've got reoccurring every day, and then click save. Okay, so this is going to give you, did I accidentally require a password? This is going to give you a link. And this is the link that you're going to want to share. And you can just click over here, copy the invitation. Okay. And when you do that, this you can send to your students. It's going to have the link to join the meeting and they'll just need to click on that link in order to join. Okay. So you can save this URL here somewhere, put it in your Google Classroom, email it to families. I would share it more than once, but this is all they'll need to do is click on this link when it is time for the meeting. Okay. Now, let me show you what it's going to be like when you have your meeting. So when you have your meeting, you can just click on that link too. And this is what it's going to look like. Hey guys. So I'm having a Zoom meeting. And as you can tell right now, there are no participants but myself. Here's a couple things you want to do before your students come on. We're going to go ahead and check some of our settings. Come over here and click on More. Do you see More down here? And we're just going to check. We want to make sure that participants are muted on entry. Yep. Allow participants to unmute themselves. I would highly recommend you uncheck this, at least at first, until you can be certain how your students will handle this. By unmuting themselves, like they can choose to talk whenever they want. And that's up to you. If you have older kids, then this might not be a problem. You can set up some procedures and say that they still need to raise their hand and that you'll call on them and then they can unmute themselves. If you just want to avoid that altogether though, you can uncheck this and then you can unmute kids when they have permission to talk. Everything else looks good. So, what I just, there I am. Sorry. Okay, so let me show you. Okay, I've now got someone in waiting. Do you see up here? It's telling me that there's someone in waiting and I can admit them. Hi, that's my husband. And so you'll notice that he is muted. You can see up here his microphone is muted, but his camera is on. And now down here where you have like mute all and unmute all, students actually have a button that says raise your hand. So Scott, raise your hand. There it is. You see it up there in blue. So you can train your students that when they do want to say something, when they want to answer a question, when they have a question, they can push that raise your hand. Now, when I go up here, I can unmute him by pushing this unmute button, or I can even lower his hand to say, no. So it's up to you. So if I push unmute, only he will be able to talk then. It doesn't unmute the whole class, okay? But I'm going to lower his hand. Okay, so also, if you click on this chat, you can chat with people in the class and they can chat too. So they can type questions and answers here in the chat box and the whole class can see it. They can even change the chat so that they're just sending a message to me or just to another student. So you can use this chat box feature here too. All right, next thing I want to show you is this share button. When you push the share button, you can share your computer screen. And this is awesome because you can actually do anything that you can pull up on your computer, you can now share with the people in your Zoom meeting. So when I pushed the green share button, this is what I got. Just push the blue share button and boom, your kids can now see your screen, okay? Your kids can now see your screen. And so you can go ahead and use things like, because here, this is what they're seeing. And I've opened up a PowerPoint. And so you can go ahead and teach a lesson from a PowerPoint. You could play a YouTube video. You could do a Go Noodle. You could open up a PDF and scroll through it together. You could watch a video on YouTube together. But sharing your screen allows you to show them anything you have on your computer screen. So of course, have whatever you want to show them pulled up before you go into your meeting. Make sure that everything on your home screen is student friendly. When you're done sharing your screen and you want them to see you again, push stop share and there you are again, okay? All right, when your meeting is over, all you have to do is push this red end meeting button and the meeting will end for everyone, okay? And let me just come back on here. Here we are. All right. So I hope that helped. I hope that helps you to understand how simple it really can be to do a Zoom meeting. Now that I told them my meeting is over, my computer is currently converting my meeting recording, and I will soon have that recording on my computer, and I can share that with students who may have missed the meeting. So if you are allowed to use something like Zoom meetings, I highly recommend it because your students miss you and would love to see you, whether you're teaching lessons or whether you're just communicating, sharing, and just working on that relationship with your students. I think it would be really important. So I hope that this was helpful. Have a not so wimpy day, guys. Bye.